when you apply to Naturalize, are there any risks to your green card? I'm Erick Widman, I'm an immigration lawyer, and as part of the process of applying for U.S. citizenship, you're going to be subject to a background check, and USCIS is also going to be looking at the basis for your original green card. They're going to be determining if your current green card was obtained in the proper way and that it is still valid. So there are a few scary scenarios where you definitely want to make sure that your foundation that for your current green card is rock solid. Because if you don't have a good foundation for your green card, when you go to your naturalization interview, not only will your naturalization application get denied, but USCIS could issue a notice to appear in immigration court, which is truly a disaster and the exact opposite of what you're hoping for. So what are these scary situations where you want to make sure your green card is solid? One common scenario is that you're traveling for a long period of time outside the US. Even if you've traveled more than 6 months outside the US, that actually raises the legal presumption that you have abandoned your green card. And so you have to, and you can, overcome the presumption with evidence of your ties and connections to the US. And so you would be able to rebut that presumption and show that no officer, either CBP officer or USCIS officer, no, you did not give up your permanent residence. But if you've spent more than a year outside the US as a permanent resident, with some limited situations, such as a reentry permit or some other ways that you've protected your status, you quite often have abandoned your green card at that point, and you are not eligible to naturalize because your continuous residence period was broken. And so you have to especially watch out for this because it could be a trip from a long time ago, 10, 15 years ago, that could still come back to haunt you. It's not like the 5-year good moral character period that also applies to naturalization. So definitely watch out for long absences from the US. In addition, there might be a problem with the underlying paperwork of your original green card application. So, for example, if you were married to someone from your home country initially, and you thought that the divorce decree was properly handled, but it turns out that maybe the required stamp was not placed upon your divorce decree. Maybe you didn't appear in front of a judge when you should have. If there's a problem with the underlying divorce decree, that means that your new marriage to a US citizen, unfortunately, is not valid. That would be marriage to 2 people at once, and that's not possible under US law. And so your underlying green card too is also in trouble. You'd have to take a number of steps to get that fixed and then get a new green card. There's also, besides this inadvertent problem with your underlying green card, if you knew of some kind of lie or fraud, if there's any kind of fraudulent statement on an immigration form that was not the truth and it had an impact on the issuance of the green card, such as, no, officer, you say on the form, I had never committed a crime when in fact you had, that can also cause big problems for your green card and can result, when you apply for US citizenship, in being placed in removal proceedings. A few other scenarios, and I know this is all kind of scary, but it's good to be very well informed before you naturalize. A few other scenarios where your underlying status could be a problem not only to naturalize, but for keeping your green card is, for example, if your US citizen employer petitioned for you to get your green card and you received permanent residence through the employment-based sponsorship process, if your employer didn't follow all the correct steps, for example, with the perm process or the petition itself, that can mean that if there weren't the proper number of US workers recruited, this can mean that your current green card has problems, might not be valid. And at your naturalization interview, and prior to that, as part of the background process and eligibility check, you should assume USCIS is going to thoroughly dig into the basis for that first green card, for your current green card too, to ensure you are authorized to naturalize and there are no problems that would prevent you from getting that naturalization certificate because your green card is fine. So this is definitely a scary video, but you want to be well informed and make sure to go through your original green card application to ensure everything is rock solid for your upcoming naturalization process. If you have any questions, definitely get in touch and take care.